Breaking news! Things are heating up behind the scenes at the Baltimore Ravens, and I have some crucial developments to share with you now. We're counting down the hours until the draft, and you can be sure that we're in for a big surprise. I'll tell you everything I know so far, but first make sure you've already hit the like button, but only do so if you agree that Mark Andrews should stay with the Ravens for another season. Man, I don't think he should be traded. Andrews is a key player in getting us to the Super Bowl. If you agree, write this, stay Mark Andrews. Speaking of which, our tight end is finally breaking his silence amid trade rumors. For months, speculation about his future has been causing a stir in Baltimore. From sports radio to fan forums, everyone has had their say, except Mark himself. That changed recently, and now we have his side of the story. Speaking during a promotional tour for Dexcommu, a NIL program for college athletes with diabetes, Mark Andrews directly addressed the buzz surrounding his condition ahead of the NFL draft. He didn't shy away or dodge. He made it clear, I'm a Raven. I'm a Raven. Simple, strong words, but let's get to the bottom of it. This all traces back to the postseason loss to the Buffalo Bills, a gut-wrenching 27-25 defeat in which Andrews was at the center of a key missed two-point conversion. It was the kind of moment that sticks with a franchise and its fan base, especially given how perfectly the play was drawn up. Tight end Isaiah Likely had just scored a 24-yard touchdown, and the Ravens had all the momentum. Then came the drop. Andrews couldn't secure the conversion, falling into the snowy turf after a collision with Likely. Now here's the part that had fans split. Andrews said his gloves were soaked, completely drenched, as he lined up for that pivotal play. He considered removing them but didn't. At the end of the day, I still should have caught the ball, he admitted. That honesty, though commendable, triggered a mixed reaction. Some fans praised the transparency, others saw it as an excuse. And of course, comparisons to Likely's performance only fanned the flames, with many noting that Likely seemed unaffected by the conditions. Despite all that, what's perhaps more revealing is what General Manager Eric DeCosta had to say, or didn't say. When pressed about Andrews' future, DeCosta was noncommittal, fueling even more uncertainty. That silence from the front office is what escalated this from mere speculation to full-blown controversy. Andrews, for his part, showed confidence in the Ravens' leadership. I know the Ravens and my relationship is incredibly strong, he said. I trust in Eric DeCosta and everybody there over at the Ravens. But he also showed realism, acknowledging that it's a business at the end of the day. He knows he could still be moved. He's not naive, but he's preparing for the best season of his life, laser-focused on winning a Super Bowl in Baltimore. So, where does that leave us? In a state of tension. Fans love Andrews. He's a three-time Pro Bowler, one of Lamar Jackson's most trusted weapons, and one of the emotional leaders of this team. Trading him would send shockwaves through the locker room. Yet the uncertainty lingers, and as the NFL draft draws near, so does the possibility that something unexpected could happen. One thing's for sure, this is a pivotal moment not just for Andrews, but for the Ravens' trajectory. His redemption arc, the playoff fallout, and DeCosta's cryptic approach, it's all converging now. The draft is 2 days away. Will Baltimore double down on its core and keep Andrews? Or will they shock the league with a blockbuster move? That's the cliffhanger we're all living in right now. And I want to hear from you. What do you think should happen with Mark Andrews? Should the Ravens keep him no matter what? Or is it time to explore a future without him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And get ready, because part 2 of this story is coming next. Let's pick up right where we left off, because this story is far from over and the next few days could define the future of the Baltimore Ravens in a major way. We're talking about legacy decisions here, roster moves that either push this team to the Super Bowl or leave us wondering what could have been. If you've been following the Ravens through thick and thin, then you already know this franchise doesn't take big decisions lightly. But the truth is, the Mark Andrews situation might force their hand. Let's consider the context. Andrews isn't just any player, he's a tone setter, a locker room voice, a connection point for Lamar Jackson when the game's on the line. He's built a reputation not just on statistics, but on trust. But this past postseason, his drop, the missed conversion, was the kind of moment that redefines careers and reorients front office strategy. Yes, Andrews took responsibility. He didn't hide behind conditions or excuses. That matters. But NFL front offices operate in a space where cold decisions are made based on production, health, cap space, and long-term vision. The fact that Eric DeCosta chose not to affirm Andrews' future with the team at a crucial pre-draft presser speaks volumes. This isn't just smoke. This could be real fire. Behind the scenes, sources say the Ravens are considering a range of scenarios leading into the draft. They're looking at edge rushers, secondary help, and possibly even another pass-catching tight end. That should make every Ravens fan perk up. You don't scout replacements unless you're at least entertaining the thought of moving on. And that's where the conversation gets complicated. Because trading Mark Andrews, despite all his contributions, could give Baltimore extra picks, ammo to move up the draft board, or fill critical needs. Remember, this team has holes to address. Depth is thin at offensive line, safety, and edge rusher. And with the salary cap getting tighter, tough choices are inevitable. Fans are already split. Some argue Andrews is irreplaceable, pointing to his chemistry with Lamar and the leadership he brings. Others, remembering the cost of missed opportunities in the postseason, believe it may be time for a fresh start. Younger tight ends like Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kolar are waiting in the wings. Could they be ready to step into the spotlight? Could Baltimore survive, maybe even thrive, without Andrews? But let's zoom out a bit. If the Ravens do make a move this big, what does it say about their philosophy right now? It suggests DeCosta and Harbaugh believe this team isn't just in win-now mode, it's in maximize every asset mode. If Andrews can bring back a premium pick or a foundational player at a position of need, Baltimore might see that as the best way to close the gap with Kansas City or Cincinnati. The draft will be the defining moment. The board will dictate whether the Ravens play it safe or swing for the fences. But no matter what, it's becoming clear that Mark Andrews' position on this team is no longer as untouchable as it once seemed. Not because of a lack of talent, but because of timing, strategy, and the unrelenting nature of this business. So now I turn it back to you, Ravens flock. What would you do if you were in Eric DeCosta's shoes? Would you keep Mark Andrews and ride it out with your Pro Bowl tight end? Or would you roll the dice, trade him, and reshape the future of the franchise? This isn't just about Mark Andrews, it's about the identity of the team. Over the past few seasons, we've watched Eric DeCosta work like a chess master, slowly building this roster into a contender, making shrewd trades, and finding value late in the draft. But now, we're entering a moment where bold decisions might define the next decade. If Andrews is traded, it will send a clear message. No one is off limits if it means getting this team over the hump. But it could also signal a major shift in how this front office views offensive priorities, perhaps leaning more on Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, and a new wave of talent. It's risky, it's emotional, but it's the kind of move that could either be seen as visionary or backfire spectacularly. So again, Ravens flock, we're at a crossroads, and the draft will show us everything we need to know about which direction they're headed. Are you ready for it? Let me know below. This isn't just about Mark Andrews, it's about the identity of the team. Over the past few seasons, we've watched Eric DeCosta work like a chess master, slowly building this roster into a contender, making shrewd trades, and finding value late in the draft. But now, we're entering a moment where bold decisions might define the next decade. If Andrews is traded, it will send a clear message. No one is off limits if it means getting this team over the hump. But it could also signal a major shift in how this front office views offensive priorities, perhaps leaning more on Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, and a new wave of talent. It's risky, it's emotional, but it's the kind of move that could either be seen as visionary or backfire spectacularly. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear every angle of this debate. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out the other videos on the screen right now. We're just getting started. The draft is coming, and trust me, you're going to want to be here for every second of it. Go Ravens!